So what is up, YouTube? Just thought I'd make this quick video. Don't have the whiteboard with me, but this is how to get bigger wholesale fees. Okay, it's 2 practical steps to get bigger wholesale fees, but there's also some not practical steps, like as far as mindset, right? But I'm gonna go over basically the 2 practical steps and how to get bigger wholesale fees and the mindset that you need to have in order to get those bigger wholesale fees, right? There's 2 types of wholesalers. Well, maybe there's 3, right? There's the wholesaler that's just trying to get a deal, right? He's just happy with anything he gets. Then there's the wholesaler that gets deals, kind of running it like a business, maybe still a lone wolf, whatever. But his average wholesale fee is like $5 to $10, maybe $15,000 on average wholesale fee, maybe 15. And then there's the wholesalers that do 30K minimum and up. There's wholesalers out there that don't touch a deal. Like if it's $10,000, they don't touch it. They don't care about it. They only do like 30K and up or 25K and up, right? Their average wholesale fee is 25K, 50K, whatever. And then every so often they'll get a 100K deal. There's a few differences between those last 2 wholesalers that I said, right? The first one, the one who gets 5 to 10, really 5 to 10 average wholesale fee, they're targeting low price point homes, okay? So that's the first practical step. And the biggest difference is one wholesaler is probably doing 250K ARV max, and then there's another wholesaler, the other wholesaler does minimum of 300K, okay? That's a big difference, right? Their minimum is 300K, and over here, their maximum is 250K. Now, when I first started, I only targeted like 150K and lower on Zillow, right? Especially on Zillow, it is kind of harder to get bigger wholesale fees, but you could definitely get 20K spreads off of Zillow. Absolutely. Absolutely, I've seen it done before multiple times. My students have done it. It's definitely possible, but it's not too common. Most of the time when you're on Zillow, you're gonna get 5, 7, 10K, 14K, things like that. But the 250K under. So like I said, when I first started, I was learning from somebody, or somebody introduced wholesaling to me, and he was like, target the houses that are 150K and under on Zillow, right? And so that's what I did. I always put that as my filter on Zillow, 150K and under. And the reason that you do that is because it's more likely to be distressed. It's way more likely to be distressed if you target houses on Zillow that are 150K and under. Let me put my do not disturb on. Right. So yeah, if you go on Zillow and you target houses that are 150K and under, it's way more likely that they're gonna be distressed, they're gonna be in a distressed situation, they need more work, things like that. And when you're starting out, maybe it is better for you to target those price point homes just to get started. But when I started and I did that, it kind of programmed my mind. It programmed my mind that I wasn't worthy of touching the houses that are $500,000, $600,000, $1 million. I genuinely felt like I just wasn't worthy of that. Like I had no place having those types of conversations. And so I remember I built up to it. I remember when I was in Houston and I was on Zillow, I would contact $1 million houses, $1 million properties. Sometimes I would contact a house on Zillow. It wasn't a deal, but I'd say, do you have any other houses that you were looking for? That's $1 million question, by the way. Do you have any other houses that you're looking to sell? Always ask that on every phone call, whether it's a deal or not. But I would ask that and they would show me their properties. And there was a few properties that were worth like 7 mil, 8 mil. And part of me wanted to be like, oh, it's in the millions, it's not worth it, it's not a deal. I would dismiss it a lot of times, but I had to grow out of that, or I had to fight my way out of that, of like, no, I can make this a deal. I could have $1 million conversations. I'm worthy of having $1 million conversations. So it's really an exercise to just call up $1 million home, call up $1 million property owners, things like that. land, 91 acres. I have a deal right now in Decatur, 91 acres, zone commercial and residential, right? I'm still trying to find a buyer for it because they're kind of priced a little too high, but still, I have no problem having $1 million conversations now. Not at all. I'm totally in the zone for it. I'm totally in the headspace. But like I said, if you're paying for marketing, it's best, if you want bigger wholesale fees, it's best to only market or mostly market to $1 million neighborhoods, houses that have an ARV of minimum 300K or more. That's really, because the bigger the wholesale fee, the bigger the price of the home, the bigger the wholesale spread, right? Let's say you get a house for $1 million. You get it locked up for $1 million, okay? And you sell it for $1.2 million. To the buyer and to the seller, that's not a big difference. It's 1 and 1.2. You get $200,000. To you, that's a big difference. But to the buyer, it's like negotiating $10,000, right? It really is. If there's a $3 million home, okay, and you get it under contract for 2.9, and you sell it for $3 million, that's $100,000 in your pocket. Okay, you just have to, it really just comes down to your confidence when you're talking to these people. How confident and sure of yourself do you sound when you're on the phone? Do you know the lingo and the language of these $1 million properties and these $1 million deals? So that's the first thing. Target higher price point homes and get used to having those conversations. Okay, get used to having those conversations. I would always say, like, at least once a day or once every other day, call up $1 million home listed on Zillow, or maybe you're paying for marketing, and just have those conversations, right? Talk to them the same way you would talk to the $150,000 houses. The lingo is a little bit different, but confidence is there through and through. Build your confidence up, have those $1 million conversations. The higher the price point home, the more likely you are to get a 50 to 100K deal. Okay, so that's the first thing. Talk to higher price point homes. Let me look at my notes. Okay, deeper discounts. Deeper discounts. This is big. This is also like, it comes a lot to confidence. Doesn't matter if you're calling a $100,000 home or $1 million home. You have to give the right offer the first time. Stop being scared of hurting the seller's feelings. Stop it, bro. That is what holds you back. That's what holds a lot of beginners back, is they're so scared to give the right offer. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, bro. Right? If they don't like your offer, then they don't like your offer. The main thing that people are scared of is, I teach have 30-minute conversations on your offer calls, minimum 30 minutes. And you build all this rapport, you build a friendship with the seller, and then you're scared to give them the lowball offer at the end of the conversation. Bro, it's business. You're building a real friendship and you really care, but at the end of the day, you have to be honest with them. Because I promise you, if you build a good friendship with the seller, they will call you back. They always do. They always do. If they don't sell it for the price they want, they always come back to the person that gave the best impression, the best experience, okay? So build a friendship with the seller and give them the right offer the first time. I always say offer 50% of asking price. If you're on Zillow, right? If you're on Zillow and you're not sure about the true value or ARV, irregardless, I always say offer half of the asking price. You'd be surprised. You would be surprised how many people accept that. You would be surprised, okay? I give that a lot. People accept it, right? So when I'm paying for marketing, right? Because I'm paying for marketing, I offer half the ARV. Offer half of the ARV, bro. There's other times where you don't have to, or you could accept their counter offer if it's still a deal. But most of the time, you're going to have to offer half of what they're asking. Offer the right offer the first time and don't be scared of it, okay? Here's a good way to do that. After you build the friendship, right? I always teach, go back to the underwriters, You know, it's not you making the offer or it's not you coming up with the numbers, it's your underwriters, okay? That's one way to help give the right offer. But another way is you just have to set that expectation with the seller that, hey, Mr. Seller, this is what it got approved for. This is just what we have to offer. This is what we would have to buy it at, right? I'm sure you understand, look, at the end of the day, we're in this to make money too. This is how we feed our family. We have to get it right at the right price, right? And I understand you want to get as much as possible, but as investors, we have to get it for as low as possible, okay? Now, if you could, you know, adjust numbers, or if we could come up or whatever, how close to this number do you think you could get? It's all about giving the right offer. Don't mess yourself over, because I'll tell you what will happen. What happens a lot of times, which happened to a few of my students, they'll give the wrong offer the first time, but it's still too low for the seller, right? It's too high for them, but it's too low for the seller, right? They'll give that the wrong offer the first time, so they'll deny it, right? But 2 weeks later, they call you back and they say, is your offer still good? Now what are you gonna do? Now what are you gonna do? Huh? They're coming back, I'll accept your offer, but it's too high for you. Now what are you gonna do? Give the right offer the first time and don't budge. It's a muscle that you have to build. You have to be able to build a friendship, but have confidence in yourself and explain. This is the main thing in wholesaling real estate is sales. And a big part of sales is learning how to explain things, learning how to be understood. Let your point of view be understood by the seller. Help them to perceive things the way that you perceive them, but also perceive things the way they perceive them, and let them know that you understand. And meet in the middle somehow. Have a compromise. Okay, so those are the two practical ways to get bigger wholesale fees. Okay, you're going to target higher price point homes, and you're going to have a deeper discount. Make the right offer the first time. Deep discount. Have it to where your spread is at least $40,000 starting out. Minimum, or 50,000, 60,000, whatever. But give the right offer the first time, okay? And the unpractical thing that I said was, I already talked about it. Have those $1 million conversations. Talk to $1 million homeowners, talk to $1 million property sellers, and just get used to having those conversations. Get used to those words coming out of your mouth. That way you let your subconscious know that you are worthy of having those conversations. It took me a while to build up to that. But I remember when I was in Houston and I was building my business from the ground up, every other day I would talk to properties that were worth millions of dollars. And I would talk to them. I would negotiate with them. I'd go back and forth with them. I'd talk to them about the property. I'd talk to them about proof of funds. I'd talk to them about when we could close. All of it, the whole 9 yards. But what it was doing, even though low-key I thought that I wasn't going to be able to do it, as time went on, I believed that I could do it. And that's what happened. I got a $1 million property locked up for $800,000, and I sold it for 1.2. No. So I had it locked up for $850,000, and then I sold it for $1,050,000. So there was a $200,000 wholesale fee. $200,000. I closed that deal, okay? And I had my JV partner with me, so we split it. So I got $100,000 and he got $100,000. So don't be afraid to have those conversations, bro. As a matter of fact, you need to have those conversations, because the more often you have those conversations, the more you're gonna build that belief in your subconscious, right? I'm pointing to the back of your head because your subconscious is like in the back of your head, unconscious, right? This is like maybe conscious in the front, whatever. But build that belief system in your head and in your subconscious that you are worthy of those $1 million deals, okay? I hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to comment and subscribe. I'm dropping weekly videos about wholesaling real estate, self-improvement, and just life in general. If you want my wholesaling contracts and scripts, just email me. I'll give them to you for free. If you want to become a student of mine, work with me every single day. No days off. You want to work with me, just DM me on Instagram, okay? Stay motivated, y'all.